Hello, my name is Stefan Kraus from Bytes, and in this video I'm going to show you the very first public preview of World Creator 2 Beta. So please remember that this is a beta preview, so it's not fully functional. Some features might not be finished right now, so if the application even crashes, don't take it for wrong, it's not finished. So let's start. Starting World Creator results in creating a pretty nice terrain right now here. This is already in a real-time mode, as you can see here. You can switch between the real-time generation mode, GPU, and the CPU mode. You also can adjust the sun a little bit, here in the timeline, the sun intensity, and all those settings in here. The surface is like, you can, for example, increase the resolution. Again, this is real-time. Anything I'm changing here is done internally in real time. You can also increase the area itself, and of course also the height for these areas. Okay, so I'm switching back to the default values now. It's a bit more easy for me to show you, so I don't have to move around on the larger terrain. So let's start with this terrain. I'm going to modify it a little bit and show you, by the way, all the pretty nice features of World Creator 2. For the beta release we have a few more things, of course, in the back, so it's not everything available right now. So let's start with the filters here. I'm going to add a rich filter. You can see this is our World Creator's filter window. Here will be a lot more filters listed in the next few weeks, like the erosion and the sedimentation filters. They are known from World Creator 1 or GeoControl, or even from the Unity version of World Creator. So let's start with the rich filter here, apply it, and you see that my terrain has changed. Clicking this filter and I can set up several filter specific settings here. I can also tell World Creator to only apply that filter within a specific height range. So set like that. These values here are in meters and they are absolute values. So previously we had the height values normalized between 0 and 1. So in this case World Creator has been completely changed, and now everything you set up here is in true meters. So I will keep this as is right now. I'm going to show you the texturing capabilities quickly. So let's add some pretty nice textures. These textures are all from gametextures.com. You can see that World Creator automatically detects the normal and the height map that belongs to that texture. Actually, you can switch that off if you want to select a different normal or a different height map. So we will use this one here, and we're also going to add some rock texture, but some texture that includes yes, some moss. Here we go. Get these parts here. So maybe something like this. Okay, so another thing we'd like to add is texture like this here, and this could be convex, for example. So convex means it just laying down here, and I actually don't like the sun, the lighting here, so you can see the fine details as well. So here we go with this texture, and we also adjust a little bit the slope. Don't want that at higher slopes. Could be something like this maybe, and let's just add snow texture as well. Same convex here, and sometimes you see that, I'm changing a value here for the drop downs. I have to move the UI, else it will not be updated immediately. So this is a known bug. We will fix this as well. So here we go with this one. That's pretty cool, and of course I want to just a little bit limit the height, so starting at level 0, and that's pretty cool right now. So let's see, slope range, this can be left as is, do something like this here, and if you look at it right now, it might look in some cases like a cut, like a straight line. I mean, okay, we have a lot of variance right here due to slope settings, but usually if you have a very smooth terrain, it would look like it as it was cut at a specific height range. Therefore, there is a height noise setting quite good. You can adjust to modify, for example, how the variance for the height values. Use the depth a little bit to adjust some stuff here. Also the seed value, pretty good to use. The octaves, make it more like, and the scale value. Yeah. Okay, so let's. I like this. It looks like right now. Just want to add some kind of dirt in the lower parts here. So I'm going to add another texture, and this could be maybe some different grass. So let's see. This one looks quite nice here. Moving over here, and so actually I want to apply it at the lower regions, at these parts. And you can see that we have some issues here with the texturing, so you can adjust this because you're using a very specific texturing technique, which is height dependent. So actually you have the height of the terrain plus the height of your textures, mixing them together, pretty nice. So we're just going to reduce a little bit the height scale for some of these textures to fine tune the settings so we don't get problems with them. Okay, so now this looks pretty good so far. So the only thing I would like to add is a surface noise. So we can do stuff like this here. You can see it. Increase and scale it and add, looking more natural. And the same would be for using this slope here and adjusting it a little bit, so we have something like this. Smooth it, all regions. Okay, so I think that's okay. We can leave this. Now please remember again, I've done this entirely in real time. I didn't have to push this generate button because I am in real time mode right now. So now, because I want to maybe make a game or something like that, and I want to have some kind of an interesting area, like I could think of putting in a volcano in the middle here. So now the question is how to apply a volcano in that region here. That's pretty easy to do inside World Creator, because therefore we have the areas, and those areas actually like are floating areas are, above the terrain. I'm going to add a terrain area here. You can see that that's an area. There's nothing specifically has changed on the terrain, but you can move it, you can scale it, you even can rotate it. And now what I would like to do is to grow out a terrain, or like a volcano mountain here from this part of the terrain. That's pretty easy to do. I'm going to mark this area as an input terrain, and now you can see that World Creator uses an input terrain that is actually completely flat, and it's being applied on that terrain, and you see it looks pretty awesome doing this in real time. It's really a lot of fun. You can scale it. Quickly adjust the camera a little bit. You can scale it up, and of course you can rotate it and just adapt. Perfect. And now what I would like to do is paint in here something. So actually you could, for example, use the border blend to blend between, you know, that what I have put in together, or like this one here looks really non-natural, so I'll leave it like a value like this so I can see it. I can adjust this later on as well. Now I'm going to edit height map. I'm going to select a nice brush. So, and now I'm just starting to paint on that terrain actually, so it's like doing some kind of a volcano. You can see already that it's getting a nice shape right now here. Just painting this terrain. You can see it also here. You can also move in or paint right here. Don't have to be that far away. So let's grow, 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 grow. Okay, I will leave this as is. It's okay for me now. Also, it doesn't look like a real volcano right now, but we're not finished yet. So the first thing we're going to do is to switch back here, and now let's see what we can do with the scales and the offsets here. So let's scale it first a little bit up, something like this. Okay, now it looks more like a volcano. Now we could do also the same, like increasing the height offset. So that means that the surrounding will be increased a little bit. That would be actually typical for a volcano. And now what we also want to do, because we still see some kind of, it doesn't look like, you know, it looks a little bit unnatural how it applies with the other terrain, with the surrounding of this terrain. You can clearly see the difference. So that's where the border blend comes into action. Now we can blend it like this, and now we have something that looks a lot more natural actually. And we also can just reduce a little bit the weight strength of the input terrain, so it mixes a little bit more with the original created terrain by World Creator. If I'm showing you, set this to 0, then I'm back at the original values of World Creator, and now I'm mixing it in, and therefore I can further adjust it, and yeah, many possibilities. Same for the resolution. If I'm going to increase the resolution, the more and more it takes the original shape of my input terrain that I have painted. And I mean, this is something that doesn't look really cool, so it's always good to have lower values. I prefer a value like 32. That maps perfectly, almost perfect. Okay, so now we have our smaller volcano here, and it's a bit too small, so let's just increase it. It's not that a problem here. Here we go. And now we have something that looks more like, okay, fantastic. And you see that I'm doing this in real time, so I move it around. There you can see an issue if I'm changing it right here, the borders changes here. Same with the other side. So that's a smaller bug, we're gonna change this. Okay, well, I can move it around, you can see it adapts automatically. Same for the entire texturing and whatever you just can think of. And now let's see, the ridge filter, I'm not sure if the ridge filter now also applies to this part here, so let's switch back to the ridge filter. And let's reduce the height value here. No, okay, we already included it, so perfect. Okay, so we keep this here. What might look a little bit better is like if could have an area like this to open this area. So all we have to do is going back to my area, switching to the input terrain and make it editable. And now you can select this tool here and decrease it. On the other hand, you can also hold the left shift key down and do the same by decreasing it. Okay, now we have some kind of a path or something like that. It goes out of the volcano into the terrain. That's something that's pretty cool now. Okay, let's leave this. Now watch this. I can, of course, if I don't like this this path along here, I can move it and have a different other paths. So I'm very flexible in creating this stuff. I can create even smaller if I want, or whatever you just can think of. All done in real time. That's pretty awesome. Okay, so let's increase the ice kite scale a little bit more. Something like this. Okay. Okay, so now now I've got the shape that I wanted actually for my game. It's pretty nice. And now I would like to populate it with trees and other stuff. So I'm moving over to the scene, tap here, selecting objects, adding an object layer, and now let's see what kind of objects we can add. So we have trees, we have grass, we have bushes, we have rocks, we have props. Props could be anything else. So World Creator is going to ship with lots of assets you can use for your for population reasons here. So let me just quickly drop in some trees here, like this Alaska cheddar, and you can see that as I edit it, World Creator is adding it to the terrain. And you can see that the trees are moving. There's a wind speed that you can set up here in the weather settings, like the intensity moving a little bit down, and of course you get less turbulence for the trees. Okay, so now you see that okay, the trees are on the top of the hills and whatever here. So switching back to the scene now, to the objects. And let's adjust a little bit the trees. We could, for example, tell them not to use higher slopes. You can see they're completely automatically updated in real time. Wanting more trees? No problem. We can just increase a few values here. Here we go. We still got a tree on the top areas here. We don't want that, so let's take the concave setting for the trees, and we're down in the areas, in the valley areas of our terrain. Okay, so of course we can add several other trees as well, give them the same settings, so we just can duplicate the first one and apply the settings here. Didn't do that, so doing it manually right now. So let's add that. Okay, here we go. And you'll still see it's still done in real time. And my computer, so just for information, I have a 760 GTX included, and it's still working pretty awesome, even on a high resolution. I'm, by the way, just recording my screen, so we have highly optimized it as well, and we're not finished with the fully optimizations. So another thing we could do now is like an idea, like put in some different texture here, some kind of smaller rocks and pebbles that just maybe, you know, flowing down this part here. So it can be achieved quite easy to do. The first thing we can do is just to add another texture layer. Select that one here. I'm calling it, I'm not sure if it read colored pebbles. And I'm going to add a texture. So I'm going to select the stone texture, like that one maybe. Put it in, now selecting it, and see that my whole terrain is completely textured with that one. So all I want to do is only this part here, so that's quite easy to do. I'm just going over to the area section again, adding a new area, and call it also pebbles, so we know what it is. And now I'm going to edit a blend map actually. So I'm not going to mark it as an input terrain. I mean, I could, so it's also possible to use an area as an input terrain and as a blend map in combination. But I only need actually a blend map, so I'm editing the blend map right here. I'm going to an orthographic view, and now I'm starting to paint actually my blend map here like that. So paint. Oh, you see, now we got borders here, so all I can do is to the right click and expand a little bit this area like this. Now we'll have to adjust it. I'm doing this quickly. Something like this. Okay, here let's say here we got it at the end here, and also, okay, I will keep this. I'm going to show you something different. Now I'm going to done editing blend map. So the texture is still there, and all I got to do now is just to switch over textures, select the layer of that texture, and select the pebbles area for it. And here we go. Now I texture it with the pebble textures. And now I could do this also while texturing is active here, and you can see it here. So I'm going back to the edit blend map because I want to further adjust it a little bit. Let's move in, and I'll select this one here, and let's just clear some parts out of it. And you can see that the texturing applies again, fully automatic and in real time instantly. So we have something like that maybe. Okay, here we go. So let's say done editing, and we have adjusted a little bit. So let's see what's happening here. Ah, that looks pretty awesome. very natural flow. Let me quickly reduce a little bit the sensitivity of my camera here. Down to 2. Let's move up into the canyon side. Wow! So, now I've done this just in a few minutes actually, and I wouldn't have talked. I'm pretty sure I could have done it even more faster, so pretty cool. And the really good thing is that so the next things we're going to do is like allowing areas to link to each other, or having sub areas. That means, for example, like if you had this volcano and you already did some texturing for that volcano, that if you move the parent volcano, then the texturing should move as well. So this is something that is not yet functional, but of course we're gonna support this. But anyways, I can just move it like this. I mean, no sense of course right now, so just an example. And the trees and anything else adapts automatically, if you have noticed it right now. Okay, so what is more interesting again? So we have included stuff like applying trees, for example, only at specific textures. Like you can select here, use texture only, and then you can select this one here, and the trees only have been applied along that texture, or along that texture, or maybe just along snow. Of course, we have used concave, so no snow in the lower regions, or only these parts here, or maybe only in these parts here. So this is working perfectly. Another thing you can do is the height noise, which is actually not working for the object, so don't use this right now. Another thing is the MSL, which is the mean sea level. If you check this, it's not working yet in the beta, but it will be available in the next update. It's in relative values. So this one is used to create coastlines, especially when if you're about to create islands or something like that, or larger areas and several islands. So you can set up a mean sea level and do relative and just adjust the height range relative to the mean sea level. Okay. Another thing is the bounding radius, so the trees can have a bounding radius. It's not working right now. You can also align the trees along the terrain. That would look like, let me quickly move in so you can see that. I'm selecting align to terrain, and you see that the trees look a little bit different. Let me quickly see, I can adjust the tree in higher slopes as well, and you can see that quite good here. Now this one is aligned along the terrain. Deselect it, and you're good with it. So actually this is something that we could will be also further enhanced, like you can adjust a little bit the angle. Yeah, trees can be rotated of course as well. So for example, you can do stuff like that. It's not necessary, but sometimes it looks good for stones, or if you're using stones or something like that. Another thing that is coming is also with the height for the objects. So you will be able to not only set up a single width and a single height, but also a height range and the width range in which the trees should be created. So you will have different size trees. Okay. What else do we have here? So texturing is working 100% functional, so it's nothing around here anymore. You can see that the input tab inside this one here has been completely removed and been placed into the areas. It makes more sense to have them in the areas. That's why the paths will include the rivers and roads, which we have planned for World Creator. So yeah, I think that's it. Hope you enjoyed, and if you like it, then don't forget to pre-order it, and you get instant access to the beta. Okay, thanks for watching, and bye bye.